won't go into too much detail on Safran, but Safran is a large global organization, and we design and manufacture aircraft equipment. Basically, anything from aircraft engines to avionics and interiors. And my site here in Gloucester, we design and manufacture landing gears, and that's the site here in Gloucester. That's the site that went into the Made Smarter Technology Accelerator. We are very good with technology, manufacturing and design of landing gear, but not so much in auxiliary say domains. So we know what our problem was. That is our short-term scheduling and planning. So we struggled going into this challenge. We struggled with how are we going to execute our plan on the shop floor? How is the operator? How does he know what part to put on the machine first? That is all based on data, static data that planners they plan manually, and this data is not live. So the issues, they're not going to be resolved at the right time. So it's always going to be catching up on ourselves. So all our scheduling is based on manual planning from planners, and they have to deal with complex data from large data sets, from different systems, from our ERP system, from our MES systems, and ultimately that produces a plan for the morning for the team on the shop floor to execute the plan. And the success of this today for us is based on the skill and the experience of the planner, and we want to go to something more modern and using technology to go something better. So we knew exactly our problem, but we didn't know the solution. So the Made Smarter Technology Accelerator was a perfect opportunity for us to see what's out there and help us gain experience and get technology from outside, especially working with small or SME companies to help us with this. And that's what Total Control has done for us, because they have shown us that we can go back to the slide, sorry. Yeah, they've shown us but with a smart system-based solution, they can help us to achieve what we want with our planning, to have 100% OTD and no more expediting, running around on the shop floor. So yeah, without further ado, then I will don't steal the glory from Dorian Smelly from Total Control Pro. Thank you.
So my name is Dorian Smelly. I'm the CEO of Total Control Pro Limited, and our challenge is about bringing adaptive planning to those complex processes. So net zero, Brexit, COVID, the global competition for efficiency and productivity, all of these have certainly accelerated the drive to produce more, to waste less, and obviously optimize the use of all of our resources, be those machines, materials, inventory, and or of course labor. So it's been absolutely an absolute privilege to work with Pa and his team at Safran, as well as also leaning on the support and resources of the Digital Catapult. And for us, it's given us a great opportunity to not just understand, but engage with that desire of those large corporates, as well as their supply chains, obviously, in approaching this fundamental need to produce more, waste less, and obviously optimize. So my role here is to share with everyone how this smart adaptive planning MVP application, certainly as part of the Total Control Pro Smart manufacturing platform, really is bringing agility to our challenge owners, Safran, and enables them to optimize the use of those resources and indeed to show a 10 times return on investment. But I'm also here to share our commitment to make this kind of technology available throughout the UK manufacturing, SME and corporate supply chains. So let's understand the journey that we went on with our partners at Safran. You know, as Paul's already introduced, the reality is planners there are under huge pressure. You know, the time, the cost, the complexity challenge faced by both the planners themselves, but also the production teams in managing the multiple different products, each requiring the coordination of the multiple processes across multiple different departments. It's absolutely huge. And we certainly, recognise, not just working with Safran, but working broadly in the manufacturing space, that Safran themselves, they're certainly not alone in grappling with the kind of legacy ERP and MRP technology systems that fundamentally often leave teams manually planning, doing that coordination work, directing, instructing what is actually turns out to be hundreds of resources, machines, highly skilled people, the tooling as well, the production lines all on the factory floors. So the impact of when we started the journey, certainly with Safran, low efficiencies, shortfalls in on-time deliverables, productivity challenges, and fundamentally the less than optimal use of all the inventory as well. So what would it be like if technology was smart enough to continually monitor, to analyze, to schedule, to instruct an optimum workflow, but also indeed to learn as it goes and do all of that in real time? So this was certainly the promise of the adaptive planning MVP, to have the right resource at the right place, at the right time, doing the right task for the right job. And this clearly was a possibility that both we at Total Control Pro and indeed at Safran were committed to achieving and demonstrating in this MVP. So by way of consideration of the journey, in order to do all that, the first thing that we needed to understand better, or understand well, we had to understand the past. And that meant doing a lot of data analysis. So we went on the journey, yes, to obviously to digitalize the Safran processes, yes, to understand the variables, the constraints, the resources that are obviously being managed there. But fundamentally, what we needed to do was to really understand the plates that the planners were clearly having to spin on a daily basis. But we also needed to, to optimize this future plan, we also needed to understand the present. We needed to establish a way to have a real-time understanding on the state of the resources across the production environment, effectively on a moment-by-moment basis. And having done that, we could look to actually how could we optimize the future? How could we engage machine learning capability, to support that business as usual planning and to execute the workload that's required? And obviously the intent was clearly to provide the planners as well as the shop floor operators and the production managers simple to use, pragmatic digital screens, but maintaining the required autonomy so they could do their job and manage by exception. So we engaged the team. Our software capability at Total Control Pro was certainly augmented, and we brought in machine and AI expertise out of Cranfield University. We combined it with the manufacturing process expertise that we had both here at Total Control Pro, but equally there in abundance at Safran. And we started to build out and build upon our initial prototype. So whereas our early prototype was focused, in a single CNC cell, our MVP broadened and expanded that journey across the full journey of those machine parts all the way through the production processes. So what that meant is that we were creating a smart digital twin that analyzed both the demand, but also the resources that were available at any point in time. It then applied the workflow rules to generate that optimum schedule, and then presented again simple pragmatic work to lists down onto the production floor to provide the operators as well as the production leaders with what's coming, what's ready, what's due, all again in real time based around the optimum plan. And then the third area of real consideration is we knew to do this well, we needed to not just provide that to the operators on the shop floor, but to broaden that insight of the optimum plan, but where the workload is currently and how to manage by exceptions. That really meant providing real-time status screens or WIP status boards to clearly and simply communicate across that wide production environment the state of play. So we architectured all that. We architected something that could learn from historic work, all designed to improve the future planning capability. And what that provided us was with an application that Safran could then start to make those complex scheduling decisions that were actually based upon large real-time data sets, and also allow them to get smarter ongoingly as they manufacture. So in terms of the results, PAR, Safran, they themselves have shared the impact, clearly articulating it was allowing them to move from expediting to 100% agile planning and scheduling processes. They were gracious in showing our planners can now spend time on value-added activities. The transformation of the utilization KPIs, such as overall labor and overall equipment effectiveness, improvements on on-time deliveries, and significantly being able to reduce inventory costs through the production cycles. And something that is obviously very relevant to all of us right now, it also allows us collectively to make significant inroads to the company's net zero targets. But the reduction in the asset downtime and the improvement of the production KPIs gave the opportunity to Safran to provide a payback in just 60 days. And the impact of the production capacity and output could provide Safran with a 10-fold return on investment. So that certainly excites us. And we're certainly committed that we have a wider impact on that. It's across the whole supply chain. And certainly the Digital Accelerator program has provided us with both the know-how, the capability to provide this as an agile, accessible, available, and affordable piece of technology to empower the whole of the UK manufacturing supply chains with this adaptive planning capability. We're going to be launching this in Q1 next year on our smart manufacturing platform. And obviously in doing so, notably make a significant impact on the Made Smarter Challenge, which is all about raising productivity by that all-important 30% by 2030, and allow us all to win the game of productivity, to produce more, to waste less, and optimize the use of all available resources. So my thanks again go to the Digital Catapult, to Safran. I think we're certainly facilitating the true promise of Industry 4, improving the lives of all who are engaged in manufacturing,